Hi students, welcome to Wisdom Academy YouTube page. In the previous video, you have seen about electric motor. So I have told you what is the concept of force on a current carrying conductor placed in electric field. I told you electric motor works on the same principle, that whenever a current carrying conductor is kept in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. So based upon that principle, we saw how an electric motor works. Electric motor was a device which was converting the electrical energy into mechanical energy. I also told you about the applications of motor, and I said you that in many things like fans, in grinders, in washing machines, you can see electric motors. So today we are going to see about electromagnetic induction, and we will see further about electric generator. Generator will be a device which will be converting mechanical energy into electrical energy, just opposite of what a motor is doing. So first of all, let us see what is electromagnetic induction. It was actually given by Faraday. He was a physicist who talked about the concept of electromagnetic induction. So we have learnt up to now that whenever there is a conductor carrying a current, there is a magnetic field produced around it. So we know that a current carrying conductor produces magnetic field around it. Scientists were having a deep thought, is there any possibility of reversal of this? Is there any possibility that magnetic field can produce current? Because that kind of facility, if it is there, then we could solve our power problems during those times. During those times, we had only DC current, that is direct current, where we used chemical energy to get the current. But that current had lot of practical difficulties. For example, for setting up, for powering up a village, we need to set up a huge plant of battery. For transmission, it is not possible to transmit that current to the very long distances. So these were the problems faced during the direct current time, and there was an immediate need of finding some solution for it. So Faraday, he could find that there is a possibility of generation of current even with the magnetic field. So what he observed? He observed that whenever there was a change in magnetic field, there was an induced current. I will tell you this in a simple example. Let us take one solenoid, and this solenoid is connected to a galvanometer. I think I have told in the previous chapter about what galvanometer is. It is an electrical device which is used to detect the presence of current. So even when a small current is flowing through a circuit, galvanometer can detect, which may not be detected by using an ammeter. So now what I do, I take a magnet, a bar magnet. Let north pole be here, south pole be here. This is a bar magnet. Then what was happened? This magnet was slowly moved inside the solenoid. So this magnet is slowly moved inside the solenoid. So when this magnet starts going inside the solenoid, what happens? Initially, if you see this solenoid, this magnet will have its own magnetic field like this, north to south. This magnetic lines of force or this magnetic field will start coming in contact with it. So initially the least magnetic field was there, but as the magnet is inserted properly in this, all these magnetic lines of forces are fixed. So when the position of the magnet is like this, then all the magnetic lines of forces are set up inside this solenoid. So what is happening? As this magnet is entering, the number of magnetic lines of forces are changing. From 0, it is becoming maximum. So initially when the magnet was about to enter, there was no magnetic field, and when the magnet is completely entered, the complete magnetic field has come. So magnetic field has changed from 0 to a maximum value. And then it was seen that when it was entering inside, the galvanometer was showing some deflection. It was showing some deflection like this. And the moment the magnet is stopped inside the solenoid, this deflection was once again stopped. Now what experiment was conducted? Now this magnet was slowly taken out. When it was taken out, again this galvanometer was showing a deflection in the opposite direction, and when the magnet was completely taken out, the deflection was again stopped. So this made Faraday to think that when the magnet is entering inside, then the magnetic field is changing. When the magnet is completely inside a solenoid, there is no change in the magnetic field. Once again, when the magnet is slowly coming out, the magnetic field is changing from maximum to 0. And when the magnet is completely taken out, there is no magnetic field inside the solenoid. So once again, the deflection stopped. So that made him to understand that whenever there is a change in magnetic field, remember this, whenever there is any change in magnetic field, there is an induced current. He named this current as induced current. Why he called it as induced current? Because this current was getting induced, not present by itself, it is induced. And why this is inducing? It is inducing because there is a change in magnetic field. Understood? That is called as electromagnetic induction. So what is electromagnetic induction? It is a principle by which there is an induced current whenever there is any change in the magnetic field. There was one more experiment conducted. In that experiment, what happened? There were two coils taken, two solenoids taken. One solenoid was kept like this and connected to a source of current. Let it be like a battery like this, and there was a switch, and here there was another coil which was connected to a galvanometer. So when this switch was switched on, then what happens? Initially the circuit is switched off, so there was no current inside this. The moment you are switching on, the current is increasing from 0 to a maximum value. So when the current is increasing, the magnetic field also is increasing, because you know that inside the solenoid there is a magnetic field coming on whenever the current is passing through it. We learned in this chapter that solenoid behaves as a magnet when the current is passing through it. So moment you are putting the switch on, as the current is rising from 0 to a maximum value, the magnetic field also is rising. So this magnetic field is produced inside the solenoid, and that magnetic field is linked with this solenoid also, and therefore there is a shake in the needle. It starts moving in one direction. It starts shaking like this. So there is a current coming. But after few microseconds, there is no deflection, because now the current starts flowing and the magnetic field becomes constant. Again, when it is switched off, then when the switch is taken out and switched off, what happens? The current from maximum value, it becomes 0, and when the current becomes 0, the magnetic field also becomes 0. How it is becoming 0? From maximum to 0. So again it is changing. So when it is changing, again there was a deflection seen in the opposite direction. So again some current is coming. So what we came to know? We came to know that as the magnetic field is changing, there is an induced current. So it is not that there is a magnetic field present in the magnet, there will be a current. No. Whenever there is a change in magnetic field, only then there is an induced current. So remember this, electromagnetic induction, it is a principle by which there is an induced current produced whenever there is change in the magnetic field. So for this induced current, the change in the magnetic field is very important. Not only magnetic field, change in the magnetic field, that is known as electromagnetic induction. Now someone may think, what is the direction of current produced? How to find direction of current? So direction of current is given by direction of induced current. This direction of induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. Given by Fleming's right hand rule. Already you have seen the Fleming's left hand rule, and what was that? It was that when you stretch your left hands, these three fingers, that is forefinger, middle finger and thumb, mutually perpendicular to each other in such a way that the first finger is giving the direction of magnetic field, the middle finger is giving the direction of current, then the thumb used to give the direction of force on the conductor. Now this Fleming's right hand rule, we have to stretch our forefinger, middle finger and thumb of right hand mutually perpendicular to each other in such a way that the forefinger is giving the direction of magnetic field, thumb is giving the direction of motion of the conductor, then the middle finger will give the direction of induced current. So, when I compare this left hand rule and right hand rule, all things are same. See, in both the cases, my thumb is the force on the conductor, my forefinger is the magnetic field, and my middle finger is current. In left hand rule, it is a current. In right hand rule, it is an induced current. So, once again I will repeat, Fleming's right hand rule states that when you stretch your first finger, middle finger and thumb mutually perpendicular to each other in such a way that the first finger is giving the direction of magnetic field and thumb is giving the direction of force on the conductor or the motion of the conductor, then the middle finger will give the direction of induced current. I hope you have made the notes of this. I will continue with generator concept now. Now let us see what is an AC generator. AC here, AC means alternating current. Alternating current. What is this alternating current? You will learn at the end of this video. So generator. Generator is a device which is used to convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So what is generator? It is a device used for converting the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Second thing, what is the principle of the generator? I can say the principle of generator is electromagnetic induction. Then that is, whenever there is a change in magnetic field, there is a induced current. Right. So now let us see how a generator is made. So one saying similar to motor, here also we will have two permanent magnets, and between these two permanent magnets we are placing a coil. Let me name this coil as A, B, C and D. Since there is a magnet present, north and south poles are there, so there will be a magnetic field. Which direction it will be? It will be in this direction, like north to south, like this. Okay. So now I have got, there is a magnetic field, I have a coil. This coil is connected to a handle. This handle is used to rotate this coil. Why I want to rotate this coil? Because only if I rotate the coil, there will be a force on the conductor and there is a magnetic field. Whenever there is a force on the conductor, there is a magnetic field, there will be an induced current. So let us see how this induced current will be produced. So I have to use Fleming's right hand rule, and here the magnetic field direction is from north to south. Direction of movement, let me assume that it is moved in such a way that AB is going above and CD is going down. It's moving like this. So when that is happening, use your right hand and you itself decide if this is the direction of magnetic field, if this is the direction of movement, then there is a current going in from A towards B. And similarly, CD, since it is going down, so force is in down direction, magnetic field is there, it is coming in this way. So the current, induced current will be having a direction of CD. So what is direction of current? Direction of current, initially I am writing it as A, B, C, D. Okay. Now what happens when this coil is reaching the middle position and starts going towards the right? So when the coil comes in this direction, now then the position of coil becomes like this. You see here, A comes here, B comes on this side, C comes on this side and D is here. So when it is moving towards this side, so in this time what happens, now AB is subjected to a downward force and CD is subjected to an upward force, and we know that CD branch will get the current like this and AB branch will get a current like this. Then what is the flow of current? You see, direction of current becomes DCBA, DCBA, exactly reverse of this. So what we are coming to know, after every half rotation, the direction of current, it is getting altered, or I will say reversed. That is the reason the current produced by this generator is called as alternating current. It is called as alternating current, in short AC. Why it is called alternating current? Because after every half rotation, the direction of current changes. So how this connection is further connected? See, there is a slip ring present. This branch. If I am writing it as A, let it be X and let it be Y. AX is connected to one ring, I will call it a slip ring, and this Y is connected to another slip ring. Okay, and these two slip rings are connected to carbon brushes, and then this thing is connected in a circuit. So whatever we want we can use. Suppose I want to use a bulb here, the bulb will start glowing. So why it is connected like this? See, if you see these two, this is are the carbon brushes. So carbon brush and these two are called as slip rings. Why it is called as slip rings? Because these rings are going to slip. It is not going to be stationary, it is going to slip on the brushes. So this is the carbon brush, it will be present like this, but my ring, it will keep on moving like this, it will keep on moving. So ring keeps on moving, but the carbon remains stationary and touches it. So this is the slip ring, it moves like this. I hope you are able to feel what I am trying to say. So ring keeps on moving, whereas brush keeps stationary, so it is slipping on the brush, that's why it is called as slip ring. Okay. So now why does they make like this is because the current, if we don't do that and directly connect this wires with the source of whatever we want to take, the wires will get messed up. So we want to make an arrangement in such a way that the wire does not get messed up and the current keeps on flowing. So what we do, this X is connected with this slip ring and it moves completely, and Y is connected to this slip ring, it also moves completely. In turn, these two stationary brushes are connected to the carbon brushes. Carbon brush and slip ring will not be in permanent contact, it will be a slipping contact. But they two are not attached, but it just slips on this carbon brush. So whatever current is coming on this slip ring will be taken by this carbon brush and sent for the further processing, whatever it is required there. This is called as alternating current generator. So now if we want to convert this generator into a DC type generator, that is a direct current generator, then what is the requirement? DC generator, direct current generator. What we need to do? Everything will remain same, only one change will be there, this change in the slip rings. So what happens here, if you see, after every half a revolution, suppose the direction of current A, B, C, D means it will go like this, isn't it? A, B, C, D, it will come, it will go like this. After half a revolution, this will change. This will become DCBA. So it will initially it was like this, so it will become like this now. So one time like this, one time like this. Every time it is changing its direction. So for avoiding this, what we can do? We can connect. Suppose this is the coil. To this coil, we will connect something called as split rings. It is also called as commutator. So what is commutator? Commutator is a device which is used to change the polarity. So plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. That commutator role is played by split rings in this case. Split ring. So what is the meaning of split ring? Suppose there is a ring. I am drawing one ring like this. This ring is split into two halves. So it looks like this. I hope you can feel what I am trying to say. So these two rings are split in two halves. So what happens? Suppose there is one ring here and one ring here, two halves, and in turn it is connected to carbon brushes, that is always there. So when my carbon brush is connected to, suppose this is A, B, C and D, initially it is connected to AB. Here AB means throughout the system it will be in AB only, this carbon brush. But here what will happen, this carbon brush, the moment this ring turns in this direction, where this becomes A, this becomes B, this becomes C and this becomes D, then this carbon brush will be in contact with CD. So carbon brush is changing its contact after every half a rotation. So initially it was in contact with AB, then it becomes in CD, again AB, again CD. So carbon brush itself is changing its polarity, that will make the current direction to be always constant. In whatever direction is there, it will remain constant. So whenever you want to change the generator from AC to DC, you must use commutator, which is a split ring type commutator. Split ring type commutator. What this commutator will do? it will be having two different rings which are split into two parts. When it is rotating, suppose the brush is here, initially this brush was here, so after it goes here, then this ring will connect with the opposite brush. So as it is moving, always the brush is connected to different rings and the current direction remains constant. So if in this case you get an alternating current, here you will get a direct current. So in today's class, what we have seen? We have seen what is electromagnetic induction, and we have seen what is the principle, what is the parts, and what is the working of generator, both alternating current generator and direct current generator. In the next and the last video of this series, I will be talking about domestic electric current appliances. So till then, keep on seeing the video, like it, share it and subscribe the channel. Thank you.